All right, let's go back to London, where we're joined now by a very unique royal expert of sorts. She's the granddaughter of King Charles' family mentor, the Earl Mountbatten, as well as being King Charles' goddaughter. And top it all off, she was a bridesmaid for Princess Diana at her wedding. A very royal insider, India Hicks, joins me now. Well, I'm keen to know what sort of king we will have and what sort of queen we'll have too in Camilla. Great to have you, India. He's had a very long apprenticeship. You know him better than any one of my guests this week, certainly. What sort of king will King Charles be? What will be the hallmarks of his reign?
I think we're going to see a very different reign to that of his mother. And I think with a 74-year apprenticeship, this king certainly knows how he wants to be and how he wants to lead and how he will set the scene for his reign. I think certainly one of the things that I can speak about is spending 2 years with the Prince's Trust, which is an extraordinary organisation. I know it's there in Australia as well. When he was the Prince of Wales, he just left the Royal Navy and he was wondering what could he do with his severance pay. This is back in 1976, and he thought, you know what? Unemployment was at an all-time high in the UK, and he thought it's the youth of today who are feeling challenged, they're feeling marginalised by society, they need to be addressed. And so he put that pay to good use, and what is now the Prince's Trust, which today has helped over 1 million people. And I think what's interesting about that is they have an EDI situation at Prince's Trust, which is inclusivity, equality and diversity. And I think those are the three things that we're going to see come throughout the reign of King Charles. We're certainly seeing that with the guest list of who's been invited to the Abbey and to be at the coronation, and it's fascinating to see that happen.
India, we all know the backstory of Camilla Parker Bowles. To say it's been a difficult start for her, that's an understatement. She's very much now embraced by the people in Britain. I certainly saw that when I was there after the Queen had just died. I want to know how important she's going to be, in your eyes, to the success of the King's reign. But you know her. Is she as down to earth as she comes across?
I think the role of the Queen Consort is a very important role, and I think what we're going to see is a strong team with Charles having Camilla beside him. I think we've seen a woman here who has kept her head down. She has devoted herself to duty, and I think the Queen recognised that more than anybody by being able to award her that title of Queen Consort. That was a very important moment. And King Charles always calls her his steadfast love, that she is there beside him all the way. My mother, who has seen 3 coronations in her lifetime, which is fairly remarkable, she was obviously at the Queen's coronation, and she described seeing the Queen there as this very fragile, seemingly very alone, young, fresh princess. Obviously, there was a lot of romance and a lot of tragedy built into that moment because nobody has expected her father to die so young. But I think the scene that we're going to see in the Abbey on Saturday will be very different. We're going to see a very strong man with his wife beside him, and it will be a very different beginning to a reign. Much shorter one, but much stronger than that delicate, fresh, young princess. We're going to have 2 very remarkable people sitting very firmly side by side.
India, how are you going to celebrate this moment in history on Saturday?
Well, I'm very lucky indeed to have, I think, the second best seat, not to be in the Abbey, but to be in the BBC box there, where you get to see everything unfolding in front of you. And it's always a great privilege to be able to talk on television about memories of the family and growing up with King Charles as my godfather. He's a remarkable, remarkable man, and he's incredibly considerate. He obviously has got a number of godchildren, and he never fails to remember a birthday or Christmas. He is a really, really remarkable man, both publicly and privately.
All right, well, you enjoy, as I said, it is a moment in history, not just in the UK, of course, but right around the world. India Hicks, thank you.